NRCS office in Jackson County has this crimper. I think it's 15.5 feet. I've been reading and watching some guys do some studies on rye cover crops, trying to get away from some pre-emerged chemical and some chemicals. So we decided this year to save 14 acres to try to roll crimp, try to catch the rye in a dough stage, which I think we're real close, maybe not. Some of it seems to roll real good. Where the ground's a little uneven, it didn't seem to work that great, but that's something we hopefully overcome as we try this moving forward. I'm Charles Vollmer. I live in northeast Kansas. Farm 750, 800 acres of corn and soybeans, and we're trying some rye cover crop this year. For soil health mainly and erosion control, what we planted this year seemed to work really well for that. We planted this mid-September through the 1st October. Did kind of get uneven stand. The weather was real dry, but it's kind of come around in the last few weeks. We did run about 18 head of cows on 122 acres of it, and we took them off March 14th or March 15th. For me, it's weed suppression and erosion control is mainly my goal to start. And then as we kind of went through this year, reading this winter and talking to some neighbors and some friends, nobody's really tried crimping rye in our area that I know of. So we're gonna experiment with a little bit. We did spray some test strips through what we just roll crimped, and we'll see which one at harvest is kind of how the weed suppression works and compared to one to the other, and maybe yield. The beans were planted about 7 or 8 days ago, so they're not up. They are sprouted good, but they are not up yet. We did roll a little bit of that in there, that the beans are up. They're not to their first trifoliate. Did notice it broke a few of them off, but I don't think it's going to be enough to impact yield yet. I think there is some benefits to organic matter for the soil health with the rye, maybe capturing some nitrogen. I think the big thing right now is carbon control or carbon sequestration is a big thing with rye and cover crops. So I'll learn more as we move forward in the years, but it's something we're going to keep trying. It does slow up my planting dates. We like to plant beans early. We've had good luck with early beans. Doing this rye program, that sets us back 25, 30 days, which is still within good bean planting time. Next year, we're going to try this again. We may go a little later to try to get the rye a little more tall and a little more brittle, so it does crimp off really well. This crimped fairly well. We'll see in a week, 10 days what dies, what heads come back, and just try to experiment from there and see what works to our advantage. So we'd like to plant it early in mid-September on corn stalks, where we're going to go to beans. We would like to see the rye emerge even, grow good, then get to a dough stage early, like maybe a week earlier than what we got now, but that's all dependent on Mother Nature. But get it up there, get it crimped, have a nice flat mat, no burn down chemical, no pre-emerged chemical, and try to get to our post-pass, trying to eliminate some chemical using a cover crop as a mat for suppression. I saw it out there, got curious about it, and went in there and talked to, I believe his name's Brian, and talked to him about renting it and what it costs per dollar per acre, and went from there. They were real easy to work with out there. You do have to schedule it with Pete because everybody in the county's welcome to it. And it worked out where we scheduled a time and went and got it and tried it. We are doing it with a 90-some horse tractor with no weights on the front. It is a little light on the front end, even though it's 15.5, but it works fine. There's a quarter here. We planted all of it to rye, but some where we built some terraces, it went to wheat. Has the same goal, as to keep some erosion down. We did do a couple different rates of rye. We planted, I think we started out 30 pounds on some of this. We went to 65. I think what's planted over there is around 75 pounds per acre of rye. Pretty good stand. There was some new terraces in that. I can see that being a little bit of a disadvantage for unevenness, but where the ground's nice and level and flat, it seemed to work real well. Well, it depends. I can't remember what that is, what he told me per acre on that, but say if it's $5 an acre, and you know, if you're charging $5 an acre for the tractor, maybe $6, I'd have to figure that out for what we'd burn for fuel. But you know, you're $10, $11 there. Well, yeah, that's probably half of what a Roundup and a 2,4-D and a pre-burn down would cost you.
Cheaper.
I would say it's going to end up being cheaper, but yeah. You know, if you buy one of these, I don't know what they cost, but you're going to have a substantial cost in that to make it work. But if it works, it'll be something, you know, a piece of equipment that lasts a long time. So.